Welcome back to the 2024 Trans-Tasman Challenge. Right now we've got the standings up from round 19 while round 20 is being processed. You can see that New Zealand leads 133 games to 95, only 12 wins away from the magic number of 145. So this is
That's after game 19. So
19.
I think we may get some updates as we go
Yeah,
along here.
yeah. So we
But this is going to be an exciting final no matter what. We've got a game coming up here between Chris Tallman and Rocky Sharma, and then we'll after that round we'll have a little break before the finish up run. But I think these are going to be two excellent players, and looking at the overall how people have done, you see that the top performers for each country got Howard leading the way, Howard Warner with 15 wins. Fantastic spread that he's accumulated there. And also Dylan Early, also tied with him at 15 wins, have really championed this performance for New Zealand. On the other side, Russell Honeybun and Esther have done an excellent job and have each racked up quite a few wins for their nation. So I think it's going to be an exciting finish. Tell us a little bit about Rocky, about your experience with Chris in New Zealand and Rocky as well.
Chris has been an absolute fantastic addition to New Zealand Scrabble. He's been active in working in attracting new players, and he and Alexander, our producer, have been outstanding in setting up this our first live streaming event of a match. So we have to give big kudos to them for doing that because it's really helped grow the game and help grow the game locally and internationally. Chris has won, let's say, 8 tournaments coming this year alone in New Zealand, so that's a pretty good run. Um, I have to admit that I've only played him twice, and he thrashed me the first time, and then I squeaked out a win on the second time. So it looks like they're getting ready to play. Well, Rocky is a little bit about Rocky is he's about to become a grandfather. Or, I'm sorry, recently became a grandfather, so good for him. And
Wow, congrats.
yep, and against the late great Chris May, he is unfortunately 0-15. So that will never change, unfortunately, because Chris is a very good player. This is Rocky's third Trans-Tasman. He lives in Sydney, and he's currently rated 12th in New South Wales, which is one of the main states of Australia. For those of you listening abroad and don't know much about Australia. All right.
Well, I think Rocky's going to have a rocky start.
Yeah.
He may be
Yes.
even hoping that his grandchild invents a few new words to add to the dictionary because all he can come up with, he's choosing to go with iwi. I would have maybe expected Win to come down to play
Yep.
constant, but he's chosen iwi, and just trying to
Yep.
muddle through a very difficult opening
Yep.
rack that started with IIWRRNX.
Yep.
So, what do you think of that as the first choice?
I would have done like you, and I would have kept a vowel of some sort. Though
Was
iwi,
there any
maybe
was there
maybe
any
he's
merit?
maybe he's trying to impress the locals here because that's a very New Zealand word. It's Maori for
Absolutely.
one of the tribes or groupings of the Maori people. And no, the
Yeah, I
camera is
wonder,
not
was there any merit
Chris's
to
camera
perhaps
is
playing?
sorry. Chris's camera is not going crazy. He does shuffle that quick.
I know, I wondered if there was any merit to even considering an exchange on that rack. Would you think that would have been something that crossed your mind for Rocky?
Yeah, you're right. I think the play of win might have been my choice, but I really don't like the duplicated R's personally.
Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah, I
Well,
think an exchange might not have been a bad choice. Keeping I might have actually kept like NIX. They could almost certainly have a play the next turn. But
well, Chris
dumping on
has been shuffling rapidly. Before
yeah,
he started going at this velocity, I think he had lined up Magic for a second just to look at it, and
yeah,
that might be a good way to balance the rack. There are other words, of course, could be formed here. Ceramic.
yeah,
He could just play over top like a mag
mag.
play or something like
Yeah,
that. I think Magic might be the choice just to
yeah,
clean up the rack. It doesn't really offer a whole lot back. Um, and I wonder if that's what he'll end up
Mm.
concluding.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, it's those double C's make it not as if he only had a single C, it would look a lot more promising.
yeah, the double C lends itself to the word mecha, which doesn't play anywhere
Yeah,
nice. So I wonder if he's looking at something different. Gamic.
yeah. Mm. Gimmick would be nicer if he had the O or the A to put in front of it afterwards. Yeah.
Egamic and ogamic,
Eh,
which then becomes ugamic, which then becomes
eh,
zoogamic, right? I believe
oh
that's right.
gosh, yeah, that
Is
sounds
that
about.
right? Let
No,
me double
no,
check
no
that.
double. You can have ogamic, but not oogamic.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Or no zoogamic either.
Okay. So that's a ugami, zoogami, something like that.
Yeah, there is some stacking along those lines.
Yeah, ugami and zugami are fine. It doesn't work with gamic, it doesn't go ugamic, which is
No,
interesting to me. Um, but he does choose mag, keeping the two C's. Okay.
yeah,
So this is, one of
yeah,
those choices where both
yeah,
players kind of had to make a choice to play that was not going to be making them too thrilled
yeah,
at the end of it. Although for Rocky, it was a
yeah,
lot harder, and yet now he's drawn the
yeah.
Z, and he can maybe do some get some points at least down here. Maybe it's going to be
That's
stacks and
right.
mix, maybe something like
Mix.
Izar. What are we talking about?
Yeah. Just an update after round 20, New Zealand is now on 139 wins to Australia's 101. So they need, if they win, New Zealand wins 6 games this round, they will be crowned Trans-Tasman champions 2024. But that's only the start of it because there still will be plenty of good competition to come after.
Okay. Well,
Sorry about
so
that. No, yes. So what?
you'll need a quite an
Vix?
epic comeback from Australia. But so if
Yeah,
Rocky can play Zari,
yeah,
Z-A-R-I, forming Magi, that might be good. Actually, this
yeah,
is actually pretty interesting. So maybe, maybe there was an outside thought from Chris that, hey, if the eye hook comes down, I'll have the seed
yeah,
to kind of do magic later. So that might have
yeah.
crossed my mind, although it's not that likely to see a word ending with I, but at this time it might be the
Zari
case.
Zari also sets up the X next to the double word as well. If you'd want to do that, I think
So he's
he's
going with a Riz,
risen
Riza. Okay.
Riza and Awa. That's all right.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I think, yeah, Zari maybe would have been a little bit too reckless for him putting the Z next to the double word score. So Riza looks
Yeah.
sound. Great stuff. And that doesn't help Chris too much. So he's going to be
No.
trying to figure out what to do here. He's got the CVC. That
Yeah.
here in my neighborhood, that stands for the Credit Valley Conservation.
Uh,
But otherwise, it doesn't have too much. I might even consider trading. I know it doesn't
so
seem like that kind of a time in the game where you're
uh,
just going to be trading tiles left and right, but the idea of playing what he's lined up here, pervs and keeping two Cs,
is
is it
that's
really satisfying? He's shaking his
that,
head.
that's his best scoring play. But I think I agree with you. I think getting rid of maybe this a C and a V or the CCV.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you have the ingredients that an exchange
Yeah.
that with gets a little bit of decent
Yeah.
draw
Yeah.
can turn this into an amazing turn next turn. It could also go south for you if you trade and it
Yeah.
doesn't, you got anything better. So it's a participant in how much risk you're
Yeah.
willing to absorb. Maybe he's not going to take that risk and play pervs after all, which I
Yeah.
would, which I would find fine. It's just I can the expression we're seeing here of his hand on his head is just tells
Yeah.
all the story because that's exactly
Yeah.
how I would feel in the same spot. It's like you damned
Yeah.
if you do, you damned if you
No.
don't.
Yes. Yeah. He's really trying to figure out what he can do. And there's you can only put a K in front of iwi, so I mean there's nothing going to happen there. They got mage and magic, But yeah, it's either pervs or exchange. I would say.
I think he's going to take pervs because I think the thing is that if you exchange and it backfires, you know,
Yeah.
he's already playing from behind, and it would just get, it would just put him into a big hole way too early for no really good reason, right? Like,
No.
and so I think he'll have to end up just taking some points. But what is he
And
considering something
he's
else? Does he
certainly
have something
taking
else
a
to do?
lot of time. Yeah, it's taking a swig of drink, trying to get some brain juices flowing, I guess. So, anybody in the chat have any ideas what you think you would do in this? 'Cause it really does just look either pervs or swap.
Comment in the
Eh,
chat. Chris wears his emotions outwardly, great for content.
eh,
Well, yeah. What is Chris's poker face? We will have to see it another day.
yeah, I did a practice streaming commentary on Wednesday, and we were just playing some speed games on Woogles, and I'm glad my camera was not on me, and I don't know if the camera was on me, but my mic was muted because they would have heard a whole string of profanity because I just got wreck after wreck of wreck.
A few
So
years ago, I played a tournament on the stream where I was very exhausted when I was even before the tournament started. So when I got to my last game and I really botched a very easily winnable game, I was quite
yeah.
upset visibly on camera and threw my hat on the ground. So if things don't turn around for Chris here, we see a bad draw. Maybe his hat will hit the ground.
Okay. Well,
Hopefully not.
Rocky quickly drops Dixie down off a rack of DIXIFRN. Chris is probably kicking himself now, wishing he kept one of those C's.
Yeah, I was surprised he didn't keep any of the consonants. I
Yeah,
mean, any of the heavy consonants. But he has now drawn well,
yeah.
so he's got Panniers lined up. Does Panniers play?
Oh, first glance,
No, he's found
no.
Naperies.
He's got Naperese, and that will be the only one that plays.
Okay.
So he's found it, and he knows it's there, which is good. So he can then shuffle through a lot. And he's just dipped under 18 minutes. Rocky's just under 22 minutes left, so it's not nervous time yet. But Chris spent a lot of time deciding what to do on that swap.
Uh, Watching Chris shuffle those tiles, it feels
I
like
know.
watching an anime character fight at high speed. That's what I'm seeing going on here. Like this is just witnessing somebody with such high power level that they can do this super fast and actually read what's going on here. I appreciate that.
I think I might have to go back and watch the replay at about double time and really see them blur.
So this is maybe a bit of a bazingo. I mean, this is not the typical definition of a bazingo, which is
Yeah.
a word that we coined a few years ago on the stream. Because he's going to bingo in the place that Rocky wants to bingo with frauding.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's something that may be considered here.
Is that like a cross between bingo and gazump?
Frauding is not even valid. Okay, sorry, my mistake. It's just defrauding. You can defraud, but you
Uh,
can't fraud.
oh,
I would have never known that without looking that up.
I
But
I might have challenged it if somebody played frauding on me, because fraud is more of a noun, isn't it?
and you wouldn't want to be
Yeah.
frauded by prodding. Like
No.
that would just be like add insult to injury. So I think, well, let me check that out. So yeah, but there's no frauding. Okay, so not a bazingo, but definitely
Yeah.
that we'll expect to see Napier come down after this every until he's seen every permutation. He's like Doctor Strange, seeing all the different possible 14 million outcomes.
Yeah. Rocky's quite happy to let him run down his clock. Hopefully, he's not looking at him shuffling and getting hypnotized.
A great
And here comes Napier. Bang.
a great thing Chris can do now to stress his opponents out is do the same shuffling when he has like all vowels in his planning to exchange seven. Just do this shuffle for 2 minutes and just stress them out. and he's got some real big tiles coming down. But now he plays Naperies. It's one of the kind of bingos that
yeah,
lands where none of the letters land on the face on a bonus, but he gets the
yeah.
face value of those tiles plus 50.
And he
So,
takes a 1 point lead.
all right. So the P lands under the
Yeah,
triple word score,
yeah.
which I don't think is going to help Rocky in
Well,
this moment.
no,
Well,
I
what
don't.
might he do with this kind of rag? Is he even playing Frug somewhere or Fraud? What can he really like? What will be satisfying?
I would want to get rid of FUG. I hate the G and the U. F not so much, but it would just clean up. Keeping Rand would be, I think, would be my choice. So Rocky has a rack of fraud minus the I, and I think
Yeah, I think Fug under Naperies might be my play. Um, I
yeah,
don't feel like I would want to play more tiles than that to do anything else, even though there are a couple other options, but
maybe
that's
maybe
what I would end up
Fugs
doing.
into the S of Naperies as well.
Yeah, although Fug
Scores
seems like it'll just create, there's not much advantage. I mean,
uh,
may as well keep that
is gonna
open.
is
Oh,
gonna
he's
play
playing the fraud
fraud.
option. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely one of the candidate options. If he draws an I to go with his NG, the F, like the
Yeah,
lanes that he's opening on the board might be helpful. It's a bit more points, so that's always good. So yeah, I could see that as probably being enough of a difference to go for it. And he's turning over tiles. Hopefully, get the blank or one of the other good stuff in
yeah,
the bag.
and he gives Chris one of the tiles he's looking for. Chris has C. That's not as good though. EIOUCPR.
He was looking
And
for that R. Is that correct?
he's looking for that R. If you're a gambling person, you know what he's looking for. And there's
I believe he already lined it up, so he was seeing it in
yeah, you
his.
see it. There are two places to play it as well
Mhm.
for just a 3 point difference. I might play through the one in croupier in I give it away. Sorry, in fraud,
Yeah,
just so it doesn't open the triple lane. Putting in the another R in the putting the R in the triple lane.
and that seems, yeah,
Yeah,
quite a good rationale, and not really much reason
yeah.
to opt for the other one. So yeah, it's coming down.
And here it comes. He's taking the lower scoring but better defensively one.
Yeah, so he's had two low scoring bingos. So even though he's had two and Rocky has had zero,
Yeah,
it's not going to mean that Rocky is too far behind, but he does have difficult letters here. Rocky, he's going to need to just unload a few consonants and try to see what he can do the
yeah.
following turn.
So
Um, yeah.
Rocky has EGHNNRT. So if one of those ends was an S, he would have had strength and would have probably plopped down it right after croupier pretty quickly.
So for a recap of what's happened so far, we saw Rocky start with Iwi. I was
Yeah,
responding with
yeah,
Mag, and then Riza came down underneath Iwi. Then we had
yeah.
our Dixie play, hooking Mag to Magi. A bingo of Naperies for Chris, Fraud for Rocky, and now Croupier as a second natural bingo for Chris. So it's put the onus now on Rocky to figure out what he can do when you
Yeah.
have two consonants. Maybe he can find a way to play nth or something that just
Now
um,
he's actually
avoids.
just put down renig, RENIG, to the left hand triple, and
Okay, this
Chris is
opens the board. It's a little bit less ideal for in terms of what he's keeping. As we use a lot of vowels so far, I hope he's able to draw some of the vowels that he needs in order to balance this rack out.
yeah,
But I do understand that there wasn't a whole lot when it came to flexible vowels on the board to
no.
use. And now he's drawing some. He's drawing an E, which helps, but not enough with it. Okay, so he'll
So,
have another turn to work through.
so Chris
Same here.
has OOUEIV is in Victor and the blank. I personally would be looking to change pretty quickly.
I would think he can play voice,
Yeah,
which
see,
might scores enough points.
yep, that's true.
I
That
think.
would score nicely. And if you could wrap it around to the other side of the board, I think you can play out voice as well.
Oh wow. Yeah. So I think you'll have to play that.
Yes, outvoice, Shakespearean, to surpass in loudness of voice.
Hmm.
And there it comes voice. So my hasty play would have been silly.
It's 32 points, so yeah, it's
Yeah,
six
that's more
four.
than keeping OU blank, so it's not horrendous.
It's pretty strong. And now that V floating under the triple line is not very helpful for Rocky. He could play there, but he'd have to. I
And
mean, he's doing it.
he's gonna drop Hove. So
Yeah,
Rocky's
he's
got,
gonna. He's just saying, "I'll just suck up the problems for the points." And what does he play here?
yeah, Hove,
Hoven. Hoven.
Hove. Oh, he played Hoven. Okay. So he's got Bentttho, and he plays Hoven for 36.
Okay.
And Chris
Yeah.
has
Again, points is always defensible.
EVAOUE and a blank.
He doesn't quite have Evovi.
No, he's got,
I wondered if there's no other wild long words in this particular act. Zouave almost.
no, there's no 7 or
It's
8s available.
you know
So Chris has AE, I'm sorry, AEEOUV blank. So it's 2 turns in a row. He's had lots of vowels and a V.
yeah, I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised by Uvia being played
yep.
here.
Which is just set up on his rack.
Yeah, it plays off of the R in
All right.
croupier.
Yeah.
There's not really a
He's,
whole lot of other choices, I think. Am I missing anything?
no, I think Uvia is probably the right choice. And I think given that he has the blank he could use as an S, it would be better than UVI, UVEA, which doesn't take anything. Uvia takes the L and the S. So it would leave him more flexibility.
Yeah, so it does evoke the Evovi or words that
Yeah.
calls it back to frenzy, but that doesn't have quite the right combination to do it. So if you remember how it's pronounced Evovi, then it helps to remember that helps in remembering how to spell it.
Yeah.
Um, but it is the case where you need two U's or two V's, not one of each.
You
So he
can't
plays
mix and
Uvia
match.
after that, and this is going to be
Mm.
trouble spot for Rocky still because that U is not
Yeah.
usable for him. He's gonna be sitting there trying to go, what do I do with these letters? He could maybe play Betty. That's why he lined up there, but that was now ruined. And it's just a lot of stuff here. Like he play Betty now with the new E and see if that he can just get out of
Yeah.
the situation. But he's not really going to be
Yeah.
keeping a good leave.
No.
And the other
Mm.
consideration here is that now that Um, three of the four U's are on the board, and he's going to be holding the Q. He's going to have to figure out some good way to
Yeah.
get that Q down
Yeah.
in the next turn. Hopefully, if he draws an A and I, he could do then something with that.
Yeah.
But for now, he's got to suffer it.
So Rocky's looking at BTTYQD blank, and he's playing Wybant.
Okay, so he goes for 17 points instead of the points off of Betty. I'm not sure I
Yeah.
would have done that because keeping the T
Yeah.
maybe is useful for playing cut or something. But the thing is that
Yeah.
I feel like he would be
Yeah.
that bottom left corner is not as usable for him with his tiles as it would be to play off Betty
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
make it more difficult.
So
But
he could have played Wybet in row 12 through the E and Uvia for
more points.
26
Yeah,
points. I mean, that's 9
yeah,
point sacrifice right there.
yeah. Okay, but
So,
let's go back to Chris, who's sitting on DEFOTY and a blank. So he's trying to look to see, wait, is there something in here that like some kind of long bingo that's not too common. So he's looking at feed and
I quickly saw Featedly, which won't
oh yeah,
play, or Detoxify.
Ooh, that
I
would be
don't think
fun.
either one of them is going to play though.
Right. But Defy, he had Defy lined up, which would have been a nice, which would be a nice
Yeah,
four in the
yeah,
same column as Croupier, which he might just
yeah.
look
And it
at
looks like
that
he's
down.
doing it.
Yeah.
Yep. And that should be the quick 38.
And more problems for
Mm,
Rocky. Unload that queue easily. He may have to just trade
yeah.
it. Does he have a way to work around it?
So Rocky's got QTN SDE blank. Oh, do you just play QUEY and just get rid of it? No.
He
He's going to
is.
play TD.
Hmm.
TEDY to the Y and defy.
I think that the belief was strong enough that I would have traded the
Yeah,
queue. But that said,
yeah,
it's not a bad choice. What he's chosen. It's just he really needs to get some luck with this queue because the queue is hanging up his rack and preventing him from getting a bonus down. And maybe you think, yeah, by now I should be able to
yeah,
get something. But if you look at actually what's gone on with the eyes on the
yeah,
board, there are a lot of them have been used.
yeah.
So this is a factor. There's not that many U's. There's not that many I's. I would have preferred to trade the Q.
I
Maybe
think
if you
I think
wanted to
that
trade
would have been
QD,
all
you
right.
can do both. Yeah.
So Chris has tutor in a blank now, and as usual, they're blurring across the board. He
Yeah,
has
this is going to be something because,
he has
well,
four bingos in there. If you
wow,
want to try and
four. Huh?
find them, tutors is one of them.
Does he have a bingo that? But he needs an eight, doesn't he? I don't know if his sevens would play on this board.
It does up in the second row
Oh, of course,
off
yeah,
of
off of
EA.
EA. Okay, okay, good. Yeah, so he has options.
Yeah,
You see footrest in the bottom from the F.
yeah. Footrest for an eight is right.
I don't think footrest would be the optimal choice though. Tutors probably is okay.
Footrest puts the R over the triple, so it does restrict it a bit.
Yeah, although the J is still
Yeah,
unseen, seems to combine well with R in that position.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Chris is down to just under 8 minutes, while Rocky has over 17. So Chris has certainly been thinking today. A tip of the hat and the scratch of the head shows he's really working it up. Chris's partner Tara says in the chat says he's moaning that they didn't have a footrest at our new place. Have it out at the new place. Oh, the hardships of life, Chris. The hardships of life.
Knowing that he's getting deeper into the clock, I think that he would have probably played by now.
He's playing footrest now.
Okay,
It's only
but
one
that's
point
all.
different from tutors at the top or two-tier.
Well, it's going to work in his favor because Rocky has pretty much nothing
Rocky still
to.
is. Rocky's going to carry that blank for another turn. And now the question is it time to bite the bullet and just
I think he has to
exchange it?
trade. I think he
Yeah.
has to trade. And the reality is that he's behind by a lot, but it's not going to
Yeah.
get better by playing anything.
No.
So he does that. He's trading those three tiles.
Yeah.
He's got
So
to
you
hope.
exchange.
Yeah, he really needs to hope that they're getting deep into the game here that he can not only bingo in the next turn, but probably he'll need
Yeah.
back-to-back bingos or something to kind of keep the pace. Depending on what happens here with Chris. Chris has drawn AAEKLNS. So probably not going to have a bonus, but definitely
Yeah.
close enough that he can just
He
feel
does have a
content.
bonus.
Oh, he does?
Yep, I'm not sure if it plays, but he does have a bonus. I thought I'd.
Okay, this one's probably not my vocabulary.
I saw it more by. Oh, it does play. Yes, it does count. I'm having trouble counting my spots on the board today. It ends in an S for if you're interested.
Hmm. Is it a 7 or 8?
It's a 7.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't happen to know this one.
It's a group of hydrocarbons,
Oh.
the paraffins, which contain only
Alkanes, not alkenes.
alkanes. Yes.
Okay. I would not have considered that. I mean,
Uh,
I would have thought that that wasn't good, that I would have seen it by now, but I don't
uh,
know. I didn't see
uh,
alkanes. Okay.
and
Alkanes. All right.
Chris plumps for Karn, which is the second best choice according to Clackle. It takes care of that triple word threat, and it looks like he's going to get an extra 5 points for it as well.
Alkanes. Okay. Hexanes, hexenes, hexines, alkanes, alkynes. All kinds of alkanes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Karn is a
Eh,
decent play. Get some points. Have to draw some tiles. Okay. Did anything turn around for Rocky?
no.
No, no vowels. Ouch. So, if you were twinless, that would be something, but that doesn't play either.
No. So he has W S S N T L blank, and he
You
looks like
need
he's
the
just
vowel
gonna.
to play through for Westlands.
He looks like he's just gonna play off the W. He can play it for 18 next to Karn, making EW and awe, or WE and awe. But it takes away possibilities through that K.
You can also do saw if he doesn't want both asses.
Oh, he's playing ST, making Gist, Riza, and Rizas. So that's a it's not necessarily a bad play because it undoubles those S's, which are troublesome. But when you get to that point, so Chris has AAELMNS, which
Well,
has
it's not getting any better for Rocky here, unfortunately.
oh poor yes, Rocky still has no vowels. Chris has nice balance and has one bingo that you can play in two places
I see.
through well, two ways to
I
play
see.
it through this game.
I see. Yeah, the 8.
Yeah,
It's a fun one. Fun one. This is
yeah,
one that even if you're not a Scrabble player and you don't know, strange,
yeah,
obscure words, this
yeah.
is one that you would
yeah.
recognize.
This
Um,
this would be a good one for players who are new to the stream to try to work out themselves. It's a compound word, so it can be broken up into two pieces, and look for common endings to words, and it should come out.
oh, it seems like he's still
Oh, he could.
proceeding.
Oh, it, if he played it down, starting with the
Oh, he found it. Wait, did he find it?
okay,
Oh, I thought he found it for a second.
yeah. If he played it,
He had it. He almost had it in order there.
yeah, he could play it to either open the board up on both sides, or he could play it and close and basically leave the top a bit harder to get to. I don't know what that was. I think
he,
it's
just,
concession.
no, he just made a face because he's like, oh, of course, I can't believe it. So then he's like,
So it's salesman. He played the more defensive way because this restricts access to the top of the board, so it makes it harder for Rocky to come back. There's still the EA
that was
hook at
definitely
the
one of the funniest
eh,
little emotions
animations.
we've seen from players here. It gives the audience a little laugh that, yeah, if you here's the thing. Now, if you were trying to solve the puzzle, there you go. It was
Yeah,
salesman, great play. It also played, of course, to the triple line, and really not really any reason to open that. Not that it was very likely that there was any way for Rocky to
yeah,
come back, but salesman comes down, well comes down,
yeah.
and now husband is available. Does it play?
Uh,
Husband doesn't play. Oh no, sadly.
it's got almost housebound. Well, Chris
Oh,
picks up the Q and the J. ACG. So he's got JLGOTQE. So he's looking just going to possibly play QAT. Rocky now has more than one vowel, which is always handy in this game. Chris is now checking the bag. There's should be 5 tiles in the bag, and from his viewpoint, 6 are vowels and 6 are consonants.
Hmm.
Setting up joggle, but joggle requires two G's. And I think it's QT he's going to play. And unlike Rocky, he actually has a place to play it as well. There it goes, QT through the second A of salesman.
Sort of ruins Rocky's play of being able to play hubs or something, forming um, footrests, but um, you know, nothing really combines here well enough.
No,
Uh, he's sitting. Rocky is looking at BHNOSU and a blank. So there actually are no sevens or eights that are playable. Um, there are actually no sevens in the rack at all. There are a number of eights, but none of them are available. So this he might take some time trying to figure out if he's looking at everything correctly. He does have quite a bit of time, um, but unfortunately, he doesn't have such a thing.
no.
And looks like yeah, at this point late in the game with nothing much in the bag, if he
Yeah.
knows that there's no bingo, then he might choose shrub and cuts. That would be not bad.
That's what I
Burn
was thinking is because the blank's not going to get you a victory anymore here. So you might as well use it. Take some points. There's 3 tiles in the bag. I wonder if he's going to just kind of be conservative and not empty the bag. But at this point, you might as well play long, empty it, and restrict what Chris can do.
Okay, playing 2 tiles.
So
Not a bad idea. He's thinking, well, you know what?
yeah,
There's still a second bingo. Let me just keep that going and give another shot. It might work out actually. There's still a couple of letters in the bag that he could benefit from.
yeah. So Rocky plays Oho in the top left corner, making O and Ho, and playing parallel to the Hoven. And Chris has JOIEAGL, and he quickly plays join, which is going to. So Rocky now has BUNICS in a blank. This is the 7th turn in a row he's had the blank.
It
So
does not appear that there's any playable bingos for him again. Um, am I correct in saying that? I
uh,
think that the thing is that there are two seven-letter words. They don't seem to fit. There's um, not too many. Um,
no, and they're not overly common for the everyday player. And
yeah,
Chris has emptied the bag with his play. He's got OLEGA. So now Rocky just has to figure out what's going to score best for me. I think something like Scrub might be the best choice now.
yeah, it's difficult in a game where you have a blank. You're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm gonna bingo. I'm
Yeah,
gonna bingo. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But you're not able to really get to that point, and in a way, the
yeah,
assumption that they're going to kind of like even out over there, influences all the decisions,
yeah,
and you're basically working with one less tile. It's almost like if you didn't have the blank, you would just keep
yeah.
playing, keep scoring. Whereas having the blank and thinking that this is how it's going to play out really results in a game like this where Rocky scoring less than what his normal average would be,
Yeah.
and it's a little difficult. And you know, for to be fair, Chris also played very well,
Yeah.
finding like really all of his bingos that are
Yes.
available. He had four 8-letter words on this board,
Yeah.
really nice ones. Naperies,
Yeah.
croupier, footrest, salesman,
And
and you can't really do very much when your opponent's going to put down four bingos anyway. So I'm not sure that it would have changed very much, but definitely a bit of a frustration for Rocky trying to work through all that.
yeah, I think Scrub is going to be by far and away the best choice.
If you're sitting at
Uh,
home, you can do the puzzle of figuring out what the sevens are. They don't play, but
yeah.
there are two sevens. One makes the blank an R, and the other makes the blank a U. If you
Whoa.
think this game has
One.
gone askew, that's because Rocky doesn't feel like rotating the board more than
Yeah.
45 degrees right now. That's understandable. So we're looking at a little bit of diagonal, but you're not missing any tiles. They're all in view.
Mm,
Um, but
so,
I think he's just
uh,
like to try to see if there's any bingo that he missed. And once
yeah,
he concludes that there isn't one, then he's probably just going to put down scuba or something like that.
Scrub, scuba. So one of the words is a poisonous alkali, and that's the one that requires the R. And the other one that requires a U is an evil spirit that lies on women in their sleep.
Yeah, was
So
there isn't there a band isn't there a band by that name?
I think so.
Yeah.
So Chris's victory will put New Zealand at least 141. So there's the they'll only need to win 5 out of the other 11 games to declare victory. Chris has under a minute and a half to go, but it's not. I don't think he's going to be worrying about that. He'll just play some words. Rocky is playing. It looks like he's playing Scrub, making the blank an R. Yes, there it is. They've changed the angle of it. That is his optimal play in this circumstance.
That might result in ego coming back for Chris, who's just left with GLOAE.
No, it looks like they're checking the
More to
scores.
play.
9, 10, 11, 33, 34, 35, 36, 46 as it should be. Chris is down to him just about a minute now. And he plays a go next to the rub section of Scrub. Well, Rocky has IN. It looks like it's going to be a roughly 140 point win or so, 130 point win to Chris in this match.
Country versus country
Yeah,
challenges are always,
yeah,
very compelling and fun. Had a few of these
yeah.
Canada versus United States challenges, and online during the pandemic, I played Canada versus was it Canada versus Nigeria? Yeah, I think that's what
Ooh,
it was.
the big
Or
powerhouse in Nigeria.
yeah, I think it was Canada
Uh,
versus Nigeria. It was either that or I don't know if we did both of those, but in both cases, it was yeah, we got destroyed. Canada was not where these two countries are, Nigeria and Pakistan, right now, but it's still a lot of fun. And there goes another big win for New Zealand as Chris comes up victorious in a solid margin, playing four bingos against Rocky Sharma, who did his best working through some challenging racks when he was holding the cue, especially, and trying to make something out of that second blank, but not having it at any point. So, thanks for
Yeah.
joining us as we've gone through all this, and we're going to um, really just uh, enjoy the rest of this show. It may not necessarily affect the outcome, but
No,
New Zealand looks like it's cruising to victory. But we still have a lot of great players and great
yeah.
games to enjoy after the lunch break.
After lunch, we've got three games. The first scheduled on to be streamed. The first one will be Joanne Craig versus Chris Ostrowski, where Joanne's the top New Zealand player, and top female New Zealand player, and one of the top ones in Australia as well, where she is a resident. And then we're going to have a couple real ding dong dandies there. We'll have Dylan Early versus Russell Honeybun, who I believe are Australian number one versus New Zealand number three, and then Howard Warner versus Esther Perrins, which Howard is New Zealand number one and at the tournament, and Esther is Australia's number one. So that should be a really good match to watch.
Well,
So
yeah, we definitely need to get Howard on stream here with knowing how great he's performing throughout this event. And yeah, Russell doing really well for his country here, and I think the next few games are going to be great. You'll have Noreen and Helen providing some of their insights as they play to take you through that. And I think for those of you who have been able to watch any of the coverage over the course of the last 3 days, you've seen that the quality of this play is fantastic. So thanks for being part of this. And this is the 2024 Trans-Tasman
yeah,
Challenge. I think we're going to sign off from this side.
yep. So don't go away for too long. With the stream will restart in about 30 minutes. So make sure that you're back in time to. Yeah, that should give you plenty of time to make a sandwich and get back to your chairs. So
Okay, on behalf of Scott and myself, Sean, thanks for joining us for the
all
morning and stay tuned for
right,
more travel.
all right. Bye everyone.